Hey everyone, welcome to episode 7 of the Lead Her podcast. Now when I started this, I wanted to make sure I had a bank of a good solid 10 episodes that we could do so I could show up and do this consistently for you every Monday, and it wasn't going to be something that was just a one-off and I never did it again. And like I always say as well, I want this to be something that fires you up. I want this to be something that supports you and helps you and inspires you. So I had these 10 episodes let out, and I've also just had a thought process last week that, we're finished the first quarter, maybe that could be a little off the cuff kind of podcast we could do, but it actually ties in nicely what I had originally planned, which was for us to talk about our goals, what's a priority to us, what's important to us. So I think we could probably tie these two in together really nicely. So it's almost like fate that I'd written this down to do today, but then also realising that we haven't done a little review of quarter one and why that's important for us to do that. So you probably do it for work, you know, you'll have like a professional Q1 review, then that means the business can review what they need to do for going into the next quarter, and if you didn't, then you know you could end up losing funding, you could overspend, you could lose business, you could lose projects from not having that little kind of Q2 review, or one Q1 review then to renew going into kind of Q2. So this would be something that we should do personally and physically as well, because I don't know about you guys, but like my birthday was in February, I turned 34, and I feel like I've blinked my eyes and it's in April. I'm like, how is time gone so fast? And a part of me is like, oh, we're already a week into April, like maybe I'll just leave this and not do a Q1. But I thought, do you know what, we're coming out of winter, we're coming out of hibernation basically, we're starting to get longer days, we've got more energy, it's better weather, everybody's feeling excited for holidays and for summer and to feel good in themselves again. And I know you've just had an Easter weekend where we probably ate loads of chocolate and we're feeling a bit full of alcohol and had a lovely weekend, lots of good things that are good for the soul over the weekend there, which is lovely. You're possibly off for Bank Holiday Monday today, and I thought, shit, why don't we just do it today? And this is your sign for listening to this today to review your first quarter, and why I feel it is so important for you to do it, because like I say all the time, we are the worst for not making ourselves feel good enough. We are the worst to feel like we're constantly failing. We are the worst for feeling like we're not enough. And even though you might not be where you want to be this year yet, it's really important to sit back and review this first quarter. And actually, I'm going to share some of mine with you today, because I'm actually really surprised, and I'll put my hand up to say I'm the world worst as well for feeling like I start my week off really strong. I speak to our Lead Her members, I get some good Zoom calls, we play about with programming, we're doing our social media, we've launched the podcast, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday feel like go, go, go. And then I've seemed to blink and I feel like I've done nothing from Thursday to Sunday, where I have. And each week, sometimes I just feel like I'm not going anywhere. I feel like I'm not doing anything. And that's something I've been telling myself all year. I'm like, I just don't really feel like I'm moving forward, and we all just want our goals now, and we all just think I'll be happy when I achieve this, or I'll be happy when I do this. Whereas if we stop, Bank Holiday Monday, slow things down a little bit, and actually realise what we have done and what we have achieved, no matter how small they are, it's just so good for the soul, it's so good for the mind, it's so good for our confidence to be like, hey, wait a minute, look, I did do all this. And after me sat down mine there, I'm feeling like so proud of myself, and I'm feeling like, wow, like that was such a quick time, like January to March, like that disappeared from me. And someone said to me once, like, when time goes fast, it means you're doing something you love, because you're enjoying every day and it just goes super fast. If your days are feeling slow, it means you're doing something you do not enjoy. And I've always remembered that for when I do feel like my life is running away from me. But I feel like that time has gone so fast. I feel like I've done nothing. I feel like it's just like I want to be doing better always, that sometimes I don't take that second to stop and reflect. So I'm going to share some with you just now, because it gives you some ideas. And after this, I'll share like 4 ways that you can do this, because I do know a lot of women struggle with their goals, and they struggle to like review the year and to really figure out what is their goal and what is a priority to them. So after I read this, I'll tell you 4 ways that helped me really kind of figure this out. So one thing that I set out at the start of this year was that I just knew I had to get out more and see more people and connect with more people. One thing I know through COVID and through last year and through working online, I used to do a little bit of coaching one-to-one, but now I don't do any, that I've noticed after kind of COVID, I've just been like, I am a people person. Like, I love to see people, and I love, like, I used to waitress, and I feel like I like being around people, but I'm also hugely introverted, so it's always that contrast. But when I don't go out and do more, I do start to feel down and feel fed up and feel frustrated. So one thing for me was like, right, I need more connection this year. And I know I speak to a lot of our members online and we've got a great connection, but it's like I want more of like people interaction. So that was a big goal for me this year, was to get out more, see more people, connect with more people, and just do more, because as we get older we do less of that. So I was like pushing myself right off the edge of the boat to go and do this more. So one was meeting up with our members every month, which we have done. So January we did a big dinner out, which was so lovely. The girls all dressed up, we all looked super glam, we all had a cracking night, a few drinks, set some goals for the year. Second and February we did a Galentine's like gym day, which was lovely as well. We all got a good workout and had a nice wee weekend. And then in March we've got some members that aren't local. We've got members down south, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Europe, got people all over. So we did a little online spotlight with one of our members, which was lovely as well. And what I kind of realised is, like, by writing this down, we have managed to do it every month so far with our members, and it's really nice for our members to get to see each other. Like, our group chat is fantastic, everyone gets on so well, and it's just so lovely to come together. We're all very like-minded, they're all such a good laugh, they're all very ambitious, they all want to work hard, and it's just nice bringing everybody together and be able to chat in person as well, so they really enjoy it. But I noticed that from me reviewing this today, and this is something that you can do, is that I've noticed that I've been struggling to like make it a priority. And what I ended up doing was like asking a member, a lead her member, to help me out with it if she would be interested. So one of our members, Alana, has came on to help me plan events for the rest of the year, so they're all planned. We've got an insight of what she would like to do, what our members would like to do. We don't want to just go to the gym, we want to go for runs, we want to climb in rows, we want to do like pottery classes, we want to do stuff that you would never do by yourself, and stuff to learn new things and get out your comfort zone. So it's nice to actually be able to outsource some help with that than me trying to hold on and do everything myself, because it was just falling to the bottom of my priority list. And we've all been enjoying it, and it's really important for us to do more of it. So I've asked for help to help me with that, because I can't keep doing it myself. And that's a good thing for you to do as well with looking at your first quarter, whether it is personal or physical life. Like, if you're not achieving something and you're not doing something, it's like, right, is it time to get help? Is it a time to get an accountability partner or an accountability buddy? Is it time to get a cleaner? Is it time to get a mentor? Is it time to get a coach? You've had 3 months. If you're not further forward with that goal, and I want you to sit down and think, if I keep going this way, am I going to be happy? And if the answer is no, then what can you do? Because you know you want to be feeling better, you know you want to achieve these goals, they're important to you. So have a think if there's someone that you can get to help you with it, if it's your partner, if it's a friend, if it's a family member that can help you towards achieving this goal. I also set a goal just to kind of meet more like-minded women. So like we talked about in episode 3, I think, when we were chatting about how do you meet new people that are similar to you. So some women that I've met in holiday or at weddings, I've been reaching out, messaging them, going for dog walks, like actually making an effort to speak to them again, because the last time I spoke to them I enjoyed the conversation. And one of my friends, Shona, we've been catching up once a month now, and giving each other little goals to do before the next time we speak to each other, which has been really nice as well. I went to one networking event, which was fantastic. I want to do more, but at least I've started, and like I said, the time has gone so fast that I'm happy that I managed to get one in there. We also found Lead Her. So if I scroll back in my diary, January the 31st, I was lying in bed, and I've written down a few different names, and Lead Her is there, and I slept on it that night, had another night, and then next minute that was it created, and I hadn't set that out as a goal at the start of the year because I didn't know what I was going to do yet. But it's amazing to think in that space of time we've came out of Lead a Heart. It feels like it's been around forever. So that really made me smile, and that also meant that we started this podcast. We're only 7 episodes in, but I feel like I've been doing it forever already, so that was really exciting. 2 more, physically, I wanted to be back running. So back in August I got injured, and I couldn't run at all. I was training for a marathon and I couldn't run. So I set a goal, right, okay, from January to March I want to be running pain-free again, and I'm doing it. I did write down that I want to do 10k, but I haven't done the 10k yet, but I have done 7k. And that's the important thing with reviewing this year as well, is sometimes we are like, right, I want to achieve this goal by this date, but honestly girls, like, every single goal is going to take months longer than you realise, and that does not mean you're a failure, and that does not mean you're not good enough, or it just takes you longer. Everybody's different, everybody's lifestyle is different. It's just you doing what you can do with your lifestyle, and if you are moving forward by losing 0.5 kilograms, or even your body weight staying the same, or no matter how small you feel your improvements are, they are improvements, and you're getting closer to those goals 100%. So even me saying that I'm at 7k, I couldn't do that in January. So I have moved forward, and I know I'm not at 10k yet, but I will get there, and that's a good opportunity for me to now know, right, okay, what will I do in the second quarter? Because my first quarter I've done this, so actually I need to kind of rethink this a little bit. I'm not where I thought I was going to be yet, and that's okay, and that's why it's good to review it. And hopefully, maybe August, September this year, I'll be doing a podcast like, guys, we did a marathon, I did it. That's the goal for this year, is to get to that. But that's a few quarters away, and I know I just need to take it a week at a time, even though I feel some weeks I've done nothing. Like this week I've ran once and I've done 2 workouts, and then I've been hit with a cold, which is why I sound really snotty right now. So I've missed my runs this week, and it's like, oh, I feel like this week's been crap, but it hasn't. I've still ran, I've still done my gym sessions, I've just not done everything. And we're all going to get weeks like that, and it doesn't mean we give up because it's not perfect. We've still done something, and we move into next week being like, right, what can I do next week to be better? And then the last thing is just personally, we're getting a little work done around the house, and that starts tomorrow. So although it didn't start in the first quarter, we took the steps in the first quarter to start getting some work done in the house. We've been in our house for 5 years now, and it's just starting to need a little bit of TLC. It's starting to need a little bit of a change and a little bit of a lift. So we've got somebody coming in Monday tomorrow to start doing the work. So this is now your opportunity, okay? And I'm going to give you these 4 ways that you can start reviewing your Q1. And I know it's daunting, and I know you might be like, I'm nowhere near my goals, I don't want to look, I don't want to see what I've done because I've not been good enough, which I know we're going to do. But if we don't address it and we don't change it today, and we don't get ourselves set up for the next quarter, then you're just going to let the year run away from you, and you're never going to feel like you've done anything. And when we feel like we're constantly failing and we're constantly not feeling good enough, it means our expectations are out of alignment, and we're setting these goals too high. We're maybe trying to achieve 20 goals, and we're giving them all 10%, rather than us having 3 goals and giving them all a good 60-70%, and really giving them a lot more focus and ticking these goals off than trying to do far too many things. You guys are busy. You're busy at work, you're busy at home, your social life is busy. The less goals the better, and I know we love the idea of like climbing all these Monroes, or learning a new language, or learning how to play a guitar. We're just giving ourselves far too much to do, and this is when it's a good opportunity. Like I said, we are coming out of winter, we're coming out of those dark days. It is now time for you to have more walks. It's now time for you to be eating more salads and smoothies for breakfast and nice fresh fruit, and it's time for you to be wearing less layers and feeling good about yourself and building your confidence. Like, going into this quarter, this is what we should be doing, okay? So it's really good for us to sit down and not beat ourselves up for what's happened or not feel good enough or to avoid it completely. It's time to review so that you can make this next month, this next quarter, an absolute win-win. So ways that I do this is that I go through my diary, like I just showed you. I go through my diary and I just kind of have a quick skim through at what I've been thinking, what I've been doing. Even just like your diary, your little written diary at work, or a journal. If you don't have a journal, that's absolutely fine. Like, I never used to have one, but I do now, and I don't write in it every day, but I write some stuff that I can look back on and go, that's where that idea came from, or that's when I did something nice. So have a wee look through a journal or a diary if you've got one, because that will show you what you've been thinking about, what you've been doing, what you've been achieving, and what you are ticking off. The second one is like your calendar. Okay, so going through your calendar is a great one for me when I'm like, oh, I forgot that I spoke to that person, or I forgot I went to the event. You might have your gym sessions all on your diary, and you're like, this is how many gym sessions I've done since the start of the year. Or you might notice that you've scored them out and you've not been doing them and they've not been a priority. You might notice that you've been out a lot, or a lot of weddings, or you might at work just have had your end of year and it's been a crazy time and you've not been focusing on yourself at all, you've just been focusing on work. So it's just really good for you to just kind of go through that calendar and see what has been the stuff that you've been doing, what you've been spending your time on, what you've been spending your energy on, because that's what the priority's been that quarter. And that's when I kind of came up with stuff as well, like I said, finding out that we'd done the events on those days, seeing that I'd been to a networking event, seen that I've done a podcast every week, so that's really handy. Two more that you can do. One is go through the calendar gallery. Go through the gallery on your phone, your photo gallery. I love doing this, and normally we do this with Lead Her members at the end of the year, where we go from January all the way through, because you know yourself, there's maybe pictures of meals that you've taken, you've maybe spent time with friends and family, you've maybe took pictures of you going to the gym, you maybe took screenshots of stuff on Instagram. So go through your photos, because then you'll start to realise what you've been up to, and there'll be loads of stuff that has came up that you forgot that you've done, or you forgot that happened, and write all these things down, because it's nice to like finish the quarter like, wow, that was so quick, and look at all the lovely things that we did. And then the last one is looking at your bank account from that first quarter. Have you been spending more money on alcohol? Have we been buying loads of clothes? Have we been maybe buying lots of takeout, spending extra money on wine? Have we been buying new gym clothes and new trainers and treating ourselves to gym gear? So it's just really good to see what you've been spending your money on, because that's a priority as well. And that's like the 4 ways that I would look into this first quarter, because that will tell you what is important to you and what's a priority to you. And that's when you sit down and go, right, if I keep living this way the rest of the year, am I going to achieve my goals or not? And sometimes that can make you feel a little bit crap and be like, I've not been doing the work, and I've not been working this goal, I've not been working towards it at all. And that's, like I said, that's not you being a failure, that's not you not being good enough, that's not you being bad, and that's not you being a bad person or doing anything wrong. And that's why we review this today, and we start going, right, well, what is your goal? What is the 3 goals? Not these 20 goals that we want to do for the year. Let's just focus on 3 things going into this next quarter, and how we can get towards them, and what we need to do to achieve these goals over the next quarter. Because a lot of the time, and actually one thing I want you to think about going into this next quarter, when you've written down these 3 goals that you know are important to you and you want to achieve, is that going into this next quarter, if you find yourself still saying, I'm too busy, I don't have the time, I can't do it, I want you to change the phrase. And this is just going to help you actually decide yourself if it is something that you want to work towards. Because when I say this, it makes me go, no, actually, I need to get it done. So when I think I've not got the time, I say to myself, it's not a priority, or it's not important. And when I say that, it doesn't sit right with me, because I'm like, no, it is important, so I know I need to do it. So when you go to say those phrases of, I don't have time, I'm too busy, I just can't do it, I want you to change it to, it's not a priority, or it's not important to me anymore. And if that feels wrong to you, then you know it still is a priority, and you know you're going to get out and you're going to get it done. If it does feel right with you, and you are like, yeah, do you know what, I hold my hands up and I'm just being honest with myself. And this is where we build robustness, and this is where we build clarity, and this is where we build confidence, is by going, do you know what, I can't do it all. That goal's just not something I can focus on right now. That does not mean you're bad, like I said, or you're a failure or anything like that. You're just being honest with yourself, and you're getting your expectations and your goals in alignment, because your goals are up here and you can't do it all, and you're feeling like a failure every single week. Then you know you need to bring that goal down a bit, and that expectation down a little bit. It doesn't mean you completely stop it altogether, but it's just maybe lowering the expectations, and you know yourself, you'll feel a weight off your back. So let's just say quickly, this is a weight loss goal that we're trying to achieve. and you notice that you can't make it a priority in this next quarter, don't beat yourself up, but don't give up on yourself. Don't have this all or nothing mindset of, I can't lose weight because I can't do 5 sessions a week, so I'm just going to give up completely. Which is what we do. We just throw our hands in the air, we're just going, I just give up because I can't do it. Just strip it back a wee bit. I was on a call with a woman the other day and I was like, what if you just did 2 things a week? How would you feel? And she'd be like, oh, is that enough though? I'm like, of course, something's always better than nothing, guys. Always better than nothing. So even if you do have a weight loss goal, don't give up on it completely. Like, this is such an important thing for myself here on Lead Her, is that I want to promote this healthy lifestyle and looking after yourself, because it all starts with you. If you feel good in yourself, everything else in life improves. So I don't want you to completely give up on yourself. I still want you to try and plan in 1 session, 2 sessions. It could be 2 runs, it could be 1 run, it could just be netball with your friends, just 1 thing a week that you tick off for yourself, because I don't want you to forget about yourself and just put yourself at the bottom of your priority list, because then everything else will get harder to do. Okay, so just if it isn't important and you can't achieve that weight loss goal right now, that's okay, because you've still been doing the minimum. That when it comes into the 3rd quarter or the 4th quarter, you'll be fitter, you'll be healthy, you've still spent some time looking after yourself, you wouldn't have gained any more weight, that then you'll be ready to kind of push on and build your exercises and your workouts and everything back up again from there. Okay, so that's just an example of a weight loss goal, but just know you're not letting yourself down, you're just being honest with yourself when you're like, do you know what, I just can't do it. Don't drive yourself crazy just trying to do absolutely everything. If something is just overwhelming you right now, I want you to sit down and think, going into this next quarter, how can I make that more doable? Can we get help from someone else, like I mentioned earlier? Or do we just kind of strip it back and do less of that? Don't cut it out completely, because it's still important. Just cut it back a little bit so that you're just doing the minimum, so you can tick off these other goals that are important to you. So less is more. Alright, so I would love for you now to turn off this podcast, well, not right yet, not just yet, but after you listen to this, I want you to go and get me notepad and pen, go through your gallery on your phone, go through your bank balance, go through your diary, your journal, and I forgot the 4th one already. What was the 4th one? Your calendar on your phone, and just look at your calendar, your diary, and on the desk, or your journal. Go through them and see what's been a priority for you this year. Ask yourself, are you happy if your life keeps going that way, or does something need to change? Don't feel bad, don't feel guilty, get excited, because like me, you might be looking back and going, wow, I achieved that all in 3 months. And it went so fast and I didn't feel like I was doing anything. Like, what could I achieve in this next couple of months? Hopefully you get that excitement, and if not, by reviewing it, I want you to get excited for this next chapter. And for extra support, extra accountability, like I said, this is stuff that we need. I want to hear from you. We want to make sure I want to make sure you do review your 1st quarter, and I want to make sure you replan the rest of your year, because I want you to get results from listening to this today, and to get excited about looking after yourself, and to get excited about your goals and your passions and following your dream and starting your YouTube channel, or starting your podcast, or starting networking more. I want us to start getting these things done by listening to this. So shoot me a message, let me know how you find this, let me know what the goals are, and then when we come to review Q2, we'll be chasing you up to make sure that you're doing it. And that is how we are going to get the results that we want. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the rest of your bank holiday Monday, and I shall catch up with you all next week.